Day of August 2022. A very good evening to you. Welcome to Newswatch. My name is Kennedy Kimani, and assisting the sign language interpretation tonight is a very Now, the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission has resolved to use the printed register to facilitate the identification of voters during the upcoming polls. During a press briefing this evening, IBC Chairman of Chebukati said that the move follows the High Court decision that quashed the Electoral Commission decision on grounds that they acted outside the parameters of the law and the Constitution. The IBC had earlier scrapped the use of the manual voters register in every polling station in the upcoming polls as unconstitutional. Tess Njenga begins our bulletin with the following report.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, will now deploy manual registers to be used in voter identification during the general elections. On Thursday, the High Court declared the decision by IEBC to scrap off the use of the manual voters register in every polling station in the upcoming polls as unconstitutional. While addressing the press, IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati said that they will resort to the printed register in the case where the KIMS kit has completely failed.
The Commission, in compliance with the said decision of the High Court in Constitutional Petition number E306 of 2022, shall now deploy the printed register of voters at the polling station where names of voters shall be crossed out after identification of voters using the KIMS kit.
The IEBC chair explained that the printed register will be similar to the electronic one on the KIMS kit.
The register in the KIMS kit is the same register that has been printed out and it will be available in the polling station. That register, which will be used for polling, has all the details, the photo, the ID number, full details of the voter, excluding the biometric. Only the biometrics are missing. The rest are all the details as per the KIMS kits.
IEBC Commissioner Francis Wanderi assured that all ballot papers have been received in the country except for a few in areas where issues of petitions emerged.
For the areas where there were issues regarding petitions that were filed, and those ones will also arriving tomorrow morning, and they will be distributed together with the remaining materials by Sunday. I'm promising Kenyans and everybody to be ready to vote. Materials will be on site.
The IEBC chair added that the Commission has employed the necessary measures, including complying with the requirements of the Constitution.
Where we are, we must comply with the High Court judgment. We must comply with the Court of Appeal judgment, and that is what informs the press that we have given this afternoon. Way forward, Kenyans will go to the polls on the 9th of August. We implore upon candidates to please have agents in polling stations, to be vigilant. We have trained our officers. The training is on today and ending tomorrow, and they will take an oath of secrecy.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Tess Njenga.
Thank you so much, Tess, for that report. Moving on, the independent presidential candidate Ruben Kigame says he will challenge the results of next week's presidential election. At a press conference in Eldoret, Kigame said that the IBC had failed to carry out the process of fairly appointing presidential candidates. Kigame claimed that the commission approved 4 candidates for the presidency and discriminated against other candidates. The gospel singer believes he was deliberately locked out of the race and hopes the Supreme Court will treat him with justice by overturning the results of next week Tuesday's election.
We owe it to every Kenyan to guide them on our utu, maadili, and maendeleo philosophy, and even inform them on what happens from August 9 onwards. The first thing we want our supporters and every Kenyan to know is that IEBC and its chairman Wafula Wanyonyi Chebukati have deliberately and successfully ensured that Ruben Kigame is not on the ballot. So I actually will not be on the August 9 ballot paper for presidency. And that is the work of IEBC, our referee. Having met all the constitutional requirements to run for president by the 29th of May this year, and having fully cooperated with the IEBC, unfortunately, we encountered a hostile, vindictive, and discriminatory commission that cannot be described as free, fair, or credible by any legal or human standards. Instead of being referee in the elections at hand, IEBC has actively worked to ensure Reuben Kigame does not run for president. My signatures from 26 counties were not received, despite my taking them to the commission at Bomas of Kenya on several occasions. Again, two candidates, namely Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga and DP William Samoei Ruto, were given exceptional treatment and accommodation, together with two others, Professor Wajakoya and Mr. Mwaure, who were barely tolerated. But I and all independent candidates were lumped together, harassed, and locked out of the race without law being applied fairly on us. In fact, the law was applied harshly, cruelly, and discriminatorily on all of us as independent candidates.
Now, Interior CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i has called out the Kenya Kwanza coalition, led by Deputy President William Ruto for profiling public servants. Matiang'i termed the move by DP Ruto to blame government officials of alleged plot to rig polls as unfortunate, saying it exposes them to danger. At the same time, Matiang'i has urged Kenyans to ignore the claims of election rigging plans, further assuring that no internet or power connectivity will be interfered with, as alleged by Deputy President.
Our DCI is somebody who has been respected enough by his colleagues on the continent to be elected to the board of Interpol. Our Inspector General is somebody who has been respected enough by his colleagues to be elected the president of Afripol. So, on full view of the TV screens, his colleagues, fellow inspectors general across the continent, see his senior insulting him and calling him incompetent. Don't worry about me. Maybe me and PS Kibicho are the animals he describes us to be, or whatever the case may be. Does he think anything about anybody? So it's a question where you should ask yourself, is it us who have a problem with him or he has a problem with us? But I think for the record, and on this particular, and I can speak for my brother here, how can you have a problem with your senior? We don't have a problem. Hatuna shida na yeye at all. Sisi tumepewa majukumu ya kufanya na sisi ni watumishi wa serikali. Tunafanya vile tunaamrishwa na wakubwa wetu. Na yeye ni mmoja wa wakubwa wetu. Lakini yale ambayo sisi hatuwezi kufanya, hatuwezi kuvunja sheria.
Now, the Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate William Ruto took his campaigns to Laikipia, Nakuru, and Nyandarua counties today to consolidate his support base ahead of the August polls. DP Ruto urged his supporters to ignore coercion and intimidation from state agents and turn up in large numbers to vote for the Kenya Kwanza coalition. Ruto was accompanied by his running mate Rigathi Gachagua, Ford Kenya party leader Moses Wetangula, Speaker Justin Muturi, and former Laikipia Governor Joshua Irongo.
Nakuru County mulikuja hapa 10 years ago in 2013. Uhuru akasema 10 yake na 10 ya Ruto. Sasa on Tuesday tunaenda kurudisha mkono na kupatiana ile 10 ya Ruto. Watu wa Nakuru tuko hapo. Kura ya William Ruto na Gachagua.
Na tungetaka kumwambia rais wetu Uhuru Kenyatta, hapana lalamika. Wakenya wakikwambia umalize uende, sio Wakenya wanakuambia ni katiba.
Na musikuwe na wasiwasi, hakuna mtu ataiba kura zetu. Musikuwe na wasiwasi, hakuna mtu atanunua kura zetu. Musikuwe na wasiwasi, tutashinda hii uchaguzi asubuhi na mapema. Hawa majamaa wanajua tunawashinda, ndio munaona wanafanya opinion poll one day after the other. ndio wale wameenda wanalalamika mambo ya IBC, ndio wanalalamika mambo ya Chebukati, ndio saa hizi eti wanapanga njama na machief kuwalazimisha machief eti kununua kura za Wakenya. Mimi nataka niwaambie ndugu zangu zetu wa Kenya, let us not sell our future. Let us not compromise our future with 1,000 shillings from the chief. Let us build that great future that is going to take our children forward and is going to build a nation that each one of us can be proud to be a Kenyan.
Now it's time for a quick breather here on Hope TV Newswatch. We'll be back in a short while with more stories, including the Azimio campaigns in Mombasa. Stay with us.
Treasure Hunt.
Treasure Hunt on Hope TV.
We bring you great content for boys and girls in this new season of Treasure Hunt.
Kisha za Simba shambani. Kisa cha Simba shambani.
Yay!
Treasure Hunt, Saturdays at 9 a.m. only on Hope TV.
Coming up this September, CITAM Springboard Convention 2022 with fresh anointing to radiate God's glory as we reach out to the lost. Mark and save these dates from the 20th to the 24th September 2022 at CITAM Valley Road. The convention is themed Till the Whole World Hears and will definitely revive and uplift your faith. The Bible tells us in Matthew chapter 24 verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom will be preached to the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Get ready for the Springboard Convention 2022. You don't want to miss it.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga has exuded confidence that he will emerge victorious by defeating his closest rival, William Ruto of the UDA party, who in his coast stronghold, which the deputy president is perceived to have made inroads. The former prime minister pleaded with the residents not to give up on the victory is nigh, adding that if he gets elected, he will run a clean government.
Baba ameweka mipango kabambe ya uchumi ambayo mimi sina haja kuyarudia hapa. Mimi kawaida wasisemi sana, lakini nimeambia watu wa Kilifi musiadaiwe. Nataka kuongea na wale 10% na ambaye bado hawajielewi. Musipoteze kura yenu. Kura inaenda kwa Raila Amolo Odinga kwa sababu ushindi uko hapa.
Mimi nawaambia tuna shida. Nilipokuja hapa baba, fisi kupatikana hapa ya watoto wetu ni shida. Chakula saa ingine ni shida. Ajira hapa vijana wengi hawana kazi. Na ndio kwa sababu mimi nikajitolea kama kiongozi wa wafanyikazi. Nitafute njia kwa kila aina ya njia tumpate baba kama rais wa nchi hii. Ili priority ya kwanza mimi nikiwa mkazi wa hapa, tutampa baba na Mung'aro. Mung'aro kama anakuwa na mpe pia mjumbe wa ODM mtu wa baba. Ili mimi nitakuwa na push nikiwa na nyinyi hapa. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka tukubaliane ya kwamba hii siku inakuja, mtarauka nyote mwende mkapiga kura. Siku hiyo vijana hakuna kulala nyumbani. Vijana wanakesha nje. Sasa wanafungua mtambo, nyinyi mko pale kituo. Wazee wakija na kina mama mnawasaidia wapige kura warudi nyumbani. Nyinyi mnakaa pale mpaka kura ihesabiwe itangazwe. Mimi tarehe 10 nitakuja hapa Kilifi kusherehekea na nyinyi.
Tafadhali, ebu zote tuweke kura zetu kwa azimio la umoja tuweze kukomboa nchi yetu. Mimi nawaomba tuwe watu wa heshima na tukumbuke ya kwamba heshima si utumwa.
Moving on, as the country gets to the polls on Tuesday next week, Opiyo Wandayi has called on politicians to cease attacks on top security and national administration officials, saying that it may compromise the country's security. Addressing a press conference, Wandayi said that the continued profiling of the officers, tasked with, among other duties, the coordination of security issues, may prejudice security in their respective areas.
We want to sound out a very strong warning that unless this is stopped, we are going to basically create anarchy. Because these are public officers charged with the key responsibilities of, among other things, coordinating security issues in their areas of jurisdiction. And they should be working under no coercion from any quarter whatsoever. Now, this pattern of Ruto and his friends continuing to single out, to profile members of the national government administration is not only going to cause panic amongst public officers who are otherwise hardworking, but can also have the effect of prejudicing the matter of security in those jurisdictions. So William Ruto and his team must stop from singling out these hapless officers for ceaseless attacks day in, day out, and allow them to do their work. If they have an issue, then they should deal with us, their fellow politicians.
Moving on, the county elections manager in charge of Siaya County, Catherine Bulinda, has confirmed that the commission in Siaya is putting in place all strategic and security measures to ensure the polls are conducted peacefully and successfully in the county. Speaking at the commission's headquarters in Siaya town, Bulinda stated that the non-strategic materials for the polls have been continuously distributed across the county, and this has been happening for the past 1 month.
From yesterday, we started receiving the strategic materials. The strategic materials range from the KIMS and the ballot papers. So the KIMS were received the other day. There was diagnostics done on them by the county ICT to ensure they are okay. Then he has been distributing from yesterday. Today he's finalizing with GEM and ADEGO. So every polling station will have enough KIMS, and there will be 6 in every ward standby for anything. But all of them, we are hoping and trusting that there will be no hitch in them. Then the ballot papers, they came from Nairobi yesterday, and those ones are received directly by the RO. Nobody else receives them. So they went directly to the constituencies, and by yesterday, by 2, we had received all the ballot papers except the president. The president's ballot papers have not been brought. And in GEM, we registered somebody later because of the court cases. So they have not brought MNA. No, sorry, not MNA, MCA ballot paper. So the MCA ballot papers and presidential will come later. And MCAs, because of the hitch of registering a candidate late. So that's why they'll bring them later.
Shifting gears, let's now have an international news roundup by our very own Faith Selfa.
The Senegalese government has signed a peace deal with rebels from the country's south province of Casamance, which could bring about an end to decades-long conflict. The Movement of Democratic Forces of Casamance, MFDC, has pledged to lay down its arms and work towards a permanent solution. The Senegalese president, Macky Sall, welcomed the agreement, thanking the president of Guinea-Bissau, Umaro Sissoco Embalo, for mediating. And in Ethiopia has accused a team of Western diplomats of appeasing Tigrayan forces during a trip to Mekelle, the capital of the embattled northern region. In a statement on Thursday, Tigrayan forces accused the International Commission of Human Rights Experts, an investigation body set up by the UN, of intentionally eschewing meaningful communications with the region. The European Union's Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa, Annette Weber, her US counterpart Mike Hammer, and ambassadors from 5 other Western countries traveled earlier in the week to the region and met senior figures, including Debretsion Gebremichael, the leader of the Tigray People's Liberation Front (TPLF). In a joint statement following their trip, the envoys called for the resumption of basic services in Tigray, including banking, electricity, and telecommunications. Moving to Taiwan, Taiwanese woman who set off the island's deadliest fire in decades to get back at her boyfriend escaped death penalty Friday as the court handed down a life sentence. Last October's inferno in the southern city of Kaohsiung raged through multiple floors of a dilapidated 13-story apartment block for hours, killing 46 people and injuring 41. Prosecutors said she deliberately started the fire to embarrass her boyfriend, who she suspected of cheating, and had shown no remorse for her actions. And in China, China has announced it is sanctioning U.S. Speaker Nancy Pelosi and her immediate family over her visit to Taiwan. Foreign Minister Wang Yi said Pelosi had seriously interfered in China's internal affairs, seriously damaged China's sovereignty and territorial
Thank you so much for staying with us. We do apologize for that small technical hitch earlier on before the break. Now, let's get down to business. And the National Bank of Kenya has announced its partnership with global asset manager Water Equity to enhance financing to public and private water utility companies and micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, boosting the 5 billion shillings NBK Magic Connect program to up to an additional 10 million US dollars. Acting NBK Managing Director Peter Kioko reaffirmed the bank's commitment to supporting last-mile connectivity in the water sector through increased access financing. And the CIC Insurance Group has reported a profit before tax of 464 million for half year to 30th June 2022, compared to profit before tax of 337 million shillings for the 6 months period ended 30th June 2021, representing a 38% increase. The strong performance was driven by strong growth on the gross written premium and improved performance on the underwriting results owing to the continued implementation of transformation initiatives. And finally, in the business desk, LG Electronics has unveiled its latest side-by-side and top freezers refrigerators with upgraded features for 2022, delivering sophisticated style and improved user convenience. The sleek one of the new models boasts an enhanced InstaView door-in-door and LG's proven technologies for maximizing food freshness. The new lineup meets the growing demand for refrigerators that offer good design, better convenience, and hygiene and health features that help protect consumers.
The upgrade is part of us strive to enable our customers to live a smart life in a smart home, leveraging our smart products. This way, we enable them to lead to an easier, more practical, and convenient life with LG's recently introduced smart home appliances aimed at complementing a busy and hectic schedule and the challenging daily chores.
And now to some sport in action, and paralifter Helen Wawera Kariuki finished third in the women's lightweight final to take bronze as she became the latest non-track and field athlete to win a medal for Kenya at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England. Wawera, coached by David Omondi, lifted 95 kgs and 97 kgs before failing to lift 99 kgs, ending up with a mean weight lift of 98.5 kg.
As I was saying, she's found a way that powerlifting can help her earn a living. And in simple terms, she grows maize and beans for herself, but she has a surplus which she sells, and that helps her in her life to have a few things that she otherwise would miss out on.
Oh, amazing.
Stop! Rack!
Personally, I would like her to pause a little bit longer. Are the referees going to pick up on it? They haven't picked up on it, so it was enough. Good lift.
Stop!
Chopper.
Rack!
Not particularly dynamic.
No, it doesn't have to be. She managed to get the lift.
Stop!
20. Come on, Helen. Not to be.
I think she's guarantees herself a medal in 97.
Well, here are some happy moments for three young women who have done exactly what you've said, worked for years, and a very good start for England and Kenya.
Moving on, a Russian court has sentenced U.S. basketball star Brittany Griner to 9 years in prison on drug charges. The double Olympic queen has admitted possessing cannabis oil, but told the court she had made an honest mistake. Reading the verdict on Thursday, the presiding judge said she had taken into account the fact that the American had already spent a considerable time in detention. Greener, who is considered one of the best players in the world, was detained in February at an airport near Moscow when vape cartridges containing cannabis oil were found in her luggage. Greener had traveled to Russia to play club basketball during the U.S. off-season. The defense team has, however, said that they will appeal against the verdict. And to some exciting news to all of football lovers, and the English Premier League is back, with the 2022-2023 season getting underway from 10 p.m. tonight with a football clash featuring Crystal Palace and Arsenal at Selhurst Park. Saturday will kick off with Fulham welcoming Mohamed Salah's Liverpool at Craven Cottage, with week 1 ending with Super Games on Sunday. At the Theatre of Dreams, Eric Ten Hag will make his Premier League debut when he welcomes Brighton. And that's it for the sports news and for the bulletin tonight. Many thanks to you for watching Hope TV Newswatch. On behalf of the whole team that made this bulletin a success, have yourselves a good night. My name is Kennedy Kimani, and Boniface Muridi has been the sign language interpreter. Just to remind you that at 10 p.m., the Hope Media Kesha will be live here on Hope TV. You don't want to miss that. Enjoy the rest of your week.